Been a while. Good day. That's what we want to see, innit? It's been a while because one has been lost. Not terribly lost, but just a little bit lost. Look at the beauty in nature. So I didn't intend to record a little video, but feeling very clear at the moment, so. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like when you're doing the things that you know you love, when you know that you're doing all the things which make you feel healthy, alive, and you're really moving forward, that's a sign, you know, that you're doing something right. So whatever those changes are that you feel you need to do, you know, like for me it's often sort of the clearing of addictions, you know, it's the commitment to your soul growth, you know, commitment to standing in your power and being yourself, you know. But I'm going to try not to talk loads because it's hard to really make sure the words are just not regurgitated from the mind, but actually coming from the truth, you know. I've never been in this forest before. It's only down the road. I think for this year there's something to be said about clarity, you know, and I'm on the verge of it at the moment and I feel really clear, and this is like, yes, this is really good, because in a world where there's so much going on, in a world where there's so much energy everywhere, whatever that energy is, you know, to be able to stay clear, to be able to stay within your center and have that, I wouldn't even say a sense of self, because it's not a sense of self, it's just a kind of, what is it? Clarity. You know, you are the clarity, you know. And when you can be that clarity and you're not full of too many toxins in the body, you know, not full of all the things which you know that your soul is not really wanting, you know. And when you make that commitment to live, you know, from your 100%, you know, your highest expression. And that was the thing today, the commitment was like, okay, I'm going to go 100% into this, you know. So, and that's funny because, you know, all or nothings can be a bit sort of a bit full on, you know. But I feel we're talking commitment here, you know. We're talking commitment to, wow, that is beautiful up there. We're talking commitment to life, you know. Commitment to really, truly living. That is truly, truly beautiful. And, you know, I'm not going to say what's right or wrong or anything, but I can say that through the juicing and the eating the natural foods, cutting out all the chemicals, the clarity has come back in, and there's this connection between eating the plants and that, and being connected to Mother Earth, you know, being connected to Gaia. There's this connection there, and when you come out into nature, when you're cleansed inside, you feel more resonant with nature, you know, you feel more life out here, you know, you feel more connected to it. So the other interesting thing I noticed recently, because I just started doing some juicing, so I'm just talking about my experiences here. It's not necessarily, the way it needs to be for everyone. It's just my experience. But the juicing, there's this real I was having struggle like breathing within the house with the windows shut, and the lungs still aren't amazing, probably due to smoking in the past. But I noticed that since having these juices, and keeping the food really simple and keeping it very natural, I seem to not be feeling like I can't breathe in the house with the windows shut. So what this is suggesting to me is that there's more oxygen getting around, there's more circulation and oxygen getting around the system. So that's really weird, because I almost had this sort of fight-flight feeling in a way at times. That was like, I've got to open the window, I need air, And so that's very interesting that the body is, soaking that in more. So yeah, the message at the moment is 100% or nothing, That's where I've decided to come from, It's like, let's do this thing, All the things that you needed to do, that you wanted to do, and that you keep sabotaging, or keep finding sabotage come along. This is by no accident, It's by no accident. Those of you who are really, really dedicated to truth, to following your truth, it's no accident, the sabotage in that. But I won't go into that. But anyway, let's just I'm just going to walk around a bit and really soak this in. So we're talking about living from our spirit, and oh god, I've got to show you this. This is beautiful. Look at this. We live in paradise. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to go for a walk and see what this is like. What I also wanted to say was that as and when I'd spent time in the house, when I was feeling this feeling of I couldn't breathe properly, after a while you'd lose that sensation, and I think it was something to do with numbing out. It was something to do with becoming more numbed inside and switching off the body's messages which are coming to you, because the body's messages are saying, drink water, breathe fresh air. All of these messages are coming from the spirit and the higher intelligence, which is here to, help us live a more vibrant and alive life. So over the last however many years, with the industrial revolution, the noise, the pollution, all of those factors, I do understand that you can stay balanced somewhat within them. But the point is the numbing out, the desensitization has led to, a human race that are not as aware of the true needs of their body system, of their what they need in their life, And so part of resensitizing ourselves is having the gift of being able to know what we do and what we don't need, and what serves and what doesn't. That discernment is there much clearer, because a drugged animal can't discern as well what it needs and what it doesn't need, and that's the great thing about the animal kingdom, which most of the animals are more present, and they're able to discern new energy and new life, and new, not just other beings around them, other animals around them, not just the physical world, but they can sense energetically you know, what they need and what they don't, or whether there's danger, or whether, you know, there's a river coming up, or, you know, whether it's going to rain, all of these things. So the human struggles with this understanding that we're supposed to be sensitive. You know, the human is became afraid to be sensitive in its environment, you know, because all of that meant being sensitive to one's own pains as well as one's own joys, you know. So in some way, in becoming more sensitive as a human again, we are changing the timeline, not just for us, but for anyone that we're around, with our positive influence on them, if it's positive, and possibly generations, you know, ahead, depending on whether we have children or not, you know. But it's said that any changes that we make ripple out, regardless of whether we have children or not, to you know, to the web of life around us. You know, experiences that are learnt, may be shared in some way, you know. To be sensitive is to feel, and to feel is beautiful when there's not too much pain and struggle in there, you know. So if we can clear some of what's in there, in our system, to the point where it's enough that it doesn't weigh you down, you know. So I'm very lucky that mine isn't weighing me down anymore. I get days like that, just like everyone, but in general, it's not weighing me down as much, you know. So that's a wonderful place to be in. So I do think there's a state in which just breathing can be like magical, you know. Just being out, and this can be magical, because this is magical. This life is our chance to do this. This life is our chance. And letting the spirit be in control, the truth of who we are, that's the path for me. Anything that allows the spirit to guide our lives. Everything about this world is absolutely beautiful, really. The wind blowing in the trees. And as soon as I try to describe it, quantize it, put it into a box, you lose the magic. Cheers.